Hello there, welcome back to the Closet Historian. Today I'm going to show you how I did this hairstyle. You're going to need a curling iron, some clips, a styling brush of some kind, a rat tail comb, and also some pin curl clips as well. And yes, I do need a bang trim, but you know, it's scheduled. So here's my hair when it's down. You can see kind of how long it is. It's kind of a long bob right now. It is grown out a little bit because again, I do need a haircut. And a color, as you can see by the faded ends of my hair here. Goodness. But today I'm just going to be showing you how I did these bigger sort of victory rolls. I did do a victory roll on my short hair recently as well, but I do have technically different bangs now, and I do curl it a little bit, tiny bit different in this video than I did to that one. So basically I just asked you guys if you wanted to see this style in a recent video where I was wearing this style, and a couple of you said yes. And so here we are. I recorded it for you today when I did this style again, basically. So again, I'm just clipping the majority of the back of my hair away, and then this bottom section I'm going to curl everything in the back, under and down, and then clip it to cool like I normally do. So again, here I'm using a 3/4 inch curling iron, and I'm just curling these pieces down in the back, or under and down, and then pinning them with a pin curl clip to cool. I will show you that slowed down here so you can really see what I do. So basically I just take the warm curl, wrap it around my finger, and then like flatten it down and pin it with a pin curl clip, and then I let it cool, curled up like that, and it just helps preserve the curl a little bit more, or have the curl take a little bit better even. I am spraying my hair with a little bit of heat protectant spray. It's the Kenra B, like Polate or B something heat protectant spray. So that's not vegan friendly, but I do believe they are cruelty free. So I'm just curling everything down here. I split the back into two main sections and then take little pieces away. So I have the other half of my hair clipped away right now while I work on this half, but I'm basically just taking little sections, working my way up my head and curling everything down and under and pinning it in the same direction to cool. And so I'm going to do the other half here the same way. As usual, I'll just note that I do the back of my hair the same most of the time, and that is just to curl everything down and under like this, and then to pin it to cool. So that's what I'm doing here. And these are actually the top few curls in the back here. You can see I'm leaving in more standing pin curls. That's just for a little bit more volume in the back, which I didn't actually end up using much volume back there for this style, but that's all right. So I'm doing this front side section on this side quickly, but I will show you slowed down on the other side. So basically this section that I separated from the ear up, I'm going to curl these parts upwards. So here you can see I'm rolling the curling iron up. So everything else I curled down, but these 3 curls on either side in the front I am curling up and then pinning to cool as well. So I'm just taking sections away, spraying them, combing through them, and then curling them up towards up on high, up towards the top of my head here. I'm just wrapping them around my finger again and pinning to cool. So everything else is curled down and these bits are curled up because they're going to be rolled into these larger victory rolls. As you can see, I accidentally curled that one down and then fixed myself. Oops. So everything in the front curled up and everything in the back curled down. I'm just going to give that a little spritz with some more hardcore hairspray here. Again, this is not cruelty-free Tresemme, unfortunately. So here is the set while I let it cool a little bit. So everything is just curled in the same direction in the back, and then these 3 curls on either side of my head, making me look a little bit like George Washington, are curled upwards, downwards, and then up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get it. Let's do something about these bangs, shall we? I'm just going to separate these by half here and pin this away for a second. You can see here that my hair is much like fuller on one side of my bangs, and then like literally I just don't have the same amount of hair on the other side. And I think my hair might be thinning a little bit and actually receding a little bit here in the front as well. So that's not ideal, but we're making it work. It's fine. We'll power through. I just straighten that top layer of my bangs a little bit and curl the end a little bit with a straightener, and then just play with it. There are actually a couple of hairs sticking out here because I need a trim, and so I did clip a tiny bit off myself with a scissor. Don't tell my hairdresser. So then I'm just taking the clips out of the back now that it has cooled down, and then running my fingers to break up that curl, of course. And then because we're not using that in the bulk of the hairstyle, I just clipped it away here. So I'm just going to take out the clips from these front curls now. And what a look, right? What a look. Great. I'm just going to run my fingers and break up those curls a little bit as well. Then I'm going to take my bobby pins nearby here. since we're going to be using those to do the victory roll. I'm just going to take some parts away from this section to keep those smooth, and then I'm going to back comb the rest, and then I'm just going to smooth that all up into my hand and just brush over it a tiny bit to get out, like to make the outside of this smooth, but keep the back combing on the inside. So you're going to wrap these around your finger, and instead of using one finger, I'm going to use 2 fingers to make a larger victory roll. That's kind of the difference between this tutorial and my last one. The main difference, I would say, is that I'm just rolling around 2 fingers instead of 1 finger to make a larger roll. And then I am just rolling that quite vertical on top of my head, really at almost to the point where my bangs originate. I have V-cut bangs, and this is kind of going right where those bangs start in the center of my head, or more towards the center of my head than I did in my last victory roll tutorial. These are kind of bigger victory rolls, and then they are situated kind of more on the top of the head. It looks a little bit like cat ears, a little bit when you are wearing your hair this way, which is fun. And just making sure that's going to lie smooth here. Now, I have noticed that there is a section on this roll where you can see through the roll. You can see here, you can see all the way through it, and that I do not want, so I make sure I pin down the back of the roll or play with it until that doesn't do that anymore, and then smooth it and hairspray it, of course, once you have something you like. So the key with this is trying to make the rolls symmetrical. So you'll see I have trouble with this. This first time I did it, it did not look very symmetrical at all. So here I am pinning that second roll that I sped up here because we are going to undo it in a minute. But this roll, although it's perfectly serviceable victory roll, in my opinion, does not match the other one. So we are very asymmetrical. So I'm going to take that one down and then try and roll it again until it matches the first roll better. Just because I don't think, I know that probably hairdressers and professionals can get these things perfectly symmetrical, but I never can get mine perfectly symmetrical, but I do want to get them to be within the same family, you know, like eyebrows, where you want them to be, you never can get them quite exactly the same, but you want them to be nearly twins if you can. So here I am just wrapping around 2 fingers again to create that victory roll and just rolling it down onto my head, trying to get it to match the first one here. I'm just taking these stronger bobby pins from Sally Beauty Supply that I'm always going on about. They are a life-changing hair tool as far as I'm concerned. When I discovered these actually strong bobby pins, I was like, what? You only need, as you can see, I've only put 2 in there right now, and it's holding that quite well for only having 2 bobby pins in it. They're very strong, so I really recommend those. I'll link them in the description below. So here I am just smoothing and spraying again this second side here. And like I said, these are not identical. They're just at least a little bit more symmetrical than the first time I tried it. So spraying everything till I like it, and then we will fix the back in a minute here. So for the back, we have our hair just curled, obviously. So you can just let these curls down and kind of play with them with your hands till you like them, and then you can leave your hair down if you should like. But I am going to actually gather my hair up into a ponytail holder and create like a little faux curly bun thing back here. So I'm taking a bit of that hair, rolling it around the hair elastic to hide it with the hairpin. So just hiding that hair elastic. Now I can't see the back of my hair when I'm doing tutorials because I have like my quote-unquote tripod is a stack of books that blocks my mirror, so I can't see how messy this actually turned out. But basically you just kind of pin the little curly ends of your hair under to create like a little half rolled bun, and then spray it to death. And then here in the front, I'm just kind of spreading my bangs out a little bit to bridge the gap between my bangs and the roll, and then just spraying that in place. Same on this other side, just spreading my hair out and then spraying it into place. And then, you know, add a couple more pins if you need them. My ends were sticking out of this roll in the back. Try and make sure everything is as smooth as you want it. Again, this is not perfection, but that's all right. Just spray it again here once we have something we like. And this is the finished style that I wore out and about today. So I know this was similar to my last victory roll tutorial, but hopefully it's just a little bit of a variation on the style, and hopefully that was interesting for you guys to watch. And thank you as always for tuning in today. Oh, look glamorous. That's the last step there. Try and look glamorous. But I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.